What's going on, guys? You got Tone here, and I am back bringing you guys my team builder for week number 6 of the NPA Minors. This week we are taking on my good friend Johnny GB, coach of the Oregon Duckletts, commissioner of the ICBA, which I was a part of a few months back. And yeah, so this is going to be a pretty tough matchup considering the type of team we're going to be facing this week. If you guys missed last week's performance, we took on Trev and the Houston Toxapex, and we came away with a very close 1-0 win. So we are currently 4-1, sitting on top of the division, and I'm pretty sure on top of the conference too. So that is very, very nice. We only have 3 weeks left until the playoffs, and I at least want to finish these last 3 games strong. And we're taking on Johnny, and he's kind of had an up and down season. He's currently 2-3 heading into our matchup, so which I actually kind of find a little bit surprising considering his team structure, but at the same time it's sort of understandable considering the teams he had to face those first 5 weeks. So as you can see, his team is on the right, mine is on the left. His team consisting of the Mega Alakazam, Kyurem-Black, Terrakion, Clefable, Blastoise, Decidueye, Incineroar, Masquerain, Miltank, Weezing, and the Piloswine. So first thing that stands out, before I actually go any further, he just picked up Mega Alakazam. Before he had Mega Alakazam, he had Mega Medicham. So I went into this thinking, okay, I can finally bring back my Musharna, I can check Mega Medicham. Then he dropped it from Mega Alakazam, which is actually a smart play on Johnny's part, for the most part, considering the fact that his fastest Pokemon prior to making that drop was his Terrakion, and he would have to rely a lot on webs from Masquerain to make that speed advantage work, or Scarfers or whatnot. So very solid pickup and bridging that speed gap he had there on his team. Of course, my team is more bulky offensive, so it's going to struggle a little bit more because Mega Alakazam as opposed to Mega Medicham. But just the first 3 Pokemon alone on Johnny's team is just super, super annoying for my team in general, just because of how much Kyurem-Black actually destroys my team. In combination with Terrakion, it's just a pain, and then combine that with the fact that we have a fast special attacker in Mega Alakazam, it's just going to be a living nightmare for my team in general. Although, at the same time, he does struggle with a few Pokemon I have on my team, specifically the Diggersby. As looking at his roster, the combination of normal plus ground stab on my Diggersby is unresisted by everything on his team, with the exception of the Decidueye, which does get pack coverage for Decidueye, being in terms of knockoff, fire punch, ice punch, whatever the case may be. So another sort of factor is the fact that he doesn't really have much in terms of taking fairy attacks. His fairy resists are essentially just Weezing, which is not that difficult to wear down. Same thing with Clefable, but Clefable again gets worn down by a couple of Pokemon on my team, considering Volcarona is there. I have other coverage options at my disposal in terms of like Fire Fang Drapion is also a possibility. Fire Punch Druddigon is also a possibility. It can take a Dazzling Gleam if I have to. Earth Power Cradily if he's not Magnet Rise. So the list goes on and on, even to the extent of running HP Fire on Lantern if I choose to do so, or Fire Punch on my Mega Gallade. So I have a few options to wear down his bulkier threats, but of course the main focus of the team that I built for this week is just trying to mitigate how much his first 3 Mons wreck my team. And while my team doesn't have much for Kyurem-Black, I will do as much as I possibly can to make sure that the damage Kyurem-Black does to my team is as limited as possible, and the same goes to Mega Alakazam and Terrakion as well. Before I go any further in the team builder, I do want to thank Jolt from the Token Minorities for helping me fine-tune the team. I really felt pretty confident going into the build. I just had some minor issues with some certain Pokemon and all that stuff. So with that being said, we're just gonna hop right into the team builder here. I don't even have it pulled up yet because that's how good I am. But anyway, let's just run down the team that I have here. So first Pokemon we have here, we have our Drapion, which is pretty much the stat we've been running every single week this season. To be perfectly honest, I'm getting kind of sick and tired of running it myself, but what can I do? I need something that prevents Alakazam from just coming in and start spamming stab psychic attacks, and Terrakion was the only Pokemon on my team that fit the bill. Running a specially defensive set here so I can at least take a Focus Blast from a Mega Alakazam. I sadly don't take two unless he low rolls. I get Black Sludge Recovery and then low roll again. With my investment, Taunt, Toxic, Earthquake knockoff. I don't need Poison Jab in this matchup because he has no Pokemon that are weak to poison. His fairy type Pokemon is Klefki, so it didn't really make any sense. I kind of went back and forth between Earthquake and Fire Fang because I at least wanted to hit the Klefki in case he was Magnet Rise. But I figured I could try to taunt on the switch and then click Earthquake because his ground resists are limited to just Wheezing and Decidueye, and I can knock off the Decidueye if I get the opportunity to do so. So EV spread, max HP, 116 defense. The speed is enough for Jolly max speed Decidueye, and everything's slower than that. So that is my Terrakion. Next up, we have our Lantern here. Back for the second week in a row, rocking Expert Belt, Water Absorb with Scald, Volt Switch, Ice Beam, Dazzling Gleam. Volt Absorb made no sense in this battle because of the fact that his electric, while he doesn't have any electric types, his only electric coverage for the most part will be coming down to Fusion Bolt, Kyurem-Black, and since Terra Volt is Mold Breaker and it negates Volt Absorb, there is literally no purpose in running Volt Absorb against Lantern. It's going to get hit by a Fusion Bolt regardless. And Water Absorb, but at least let me switch into Scald from Blastoise if he does choose to just bring that and just try to spam it against my physical threats. Scald puts Volt Switch. Scald is just very nice for his team trying to snag a burn. Volt Switch is also nice because his electric immunity is Piloswine, which doesn't want to switch in on a predicted Scald, which is also cool. Ice Beam nails the Decidueye mostly, and Dazzling Gleam allows me to 2-hit KO Kyurem-Black if he's not bulk investment. I definitely 2-hit KO after Stealth Rock damage. So while the EV spread is kind of mitigated, not really mitigated, it's kind of like maximizing Lantern's bulk. It's more of a specially defensive Lantern with offensive potential. The 4 HP plus the 44 defense on my Lantern prevents it from being one-hit KO'd by Z Freeze Shock from Kyurem-Black, assuming it is not a positive attack nature after Stealth Rock damage. And I also take an Earthquake from a Jolly Terrakion from full. And I can smack it back with a Scald or a Dazzling Gleam, but mainly Scald is a move I'm going to be clicking the most frequently on my Lantern. So that is a Lantern. Next up, we have our Clefable here, which is sort of doubling its role here as my Stealth Rocker, as well as a sort of setup sweeper with the combination of Stealth Rock plus Calm Mind. Soft Boil to keep itself healthy, and then Moonblast is pretty spammable against his team, as I said in the overview. His fairy resists are limited to just Klefki and Wheezing, and if I can get special attack drops on them with Moonblast, then those would be great too, because it makes it a lot easier for me to set up Calm Minds on either of them, of course pending Wheezing does not carry Clear Smog, or Klefki is not a Calm Mind variant itself. So we're just running a very straightforward max HP, max defense set with Bold Nature for speed to avoid speed tying with uninvested Wheezing, so I can at least try to Moonblast that if it's in a weakening up state, and of course Life Orb to boost the power of Moonblast. I initially have Fairium Z, wanted to bring Fairium Z, but the one-time added nuke wouldn't really help in the long term, and Life Orb's power output would be a lot more beneficial in the long run. So that is the Clefable. Next up, we have our Mega Gallade here. SD3 attacks with Close Combat, Zen Headbutt, and Shadow Sneak as the options. I originally have Fire Punch for the Klefki, but Mega Alakazam was looking more and more like a threat in my eyes, especially considering that Terrakion isn't the most reliable thing on my team to switch into Mega Alakazam. Although it is a soft check, it's not really going to be switching in multiple times, I can assure you of that. SD is just nice for breaking down his slower Pokemon like the Blastoise, the Incineroar in this Decidueye if it's not scarfed or whatnot. Miltank is also hit hard by a close combat. Zen Headbutt for the wheezing, and Shadow Sneak, like I said, gives me priority against the Mega Alakazam. So we're just running a very straightforward offensive Mega Gallade with enough speed for Jolly max speed, Terrakion max attack, and the rest is an HP. Now moving on to the main sweeper of my team, we have our Diggersby, agility 3 attacks with a life orb, return, earthquake, and fire punch. This hits everything on his team at least for neutral damage, and it's very, very nice in terms of breaking down his team as a whole. Like I said, return plus earthquake hits everything except for the Decidueye. I chose to run fire punch for 2 reasons. One, it's good for hitting the Decidueye, and number 2, it's also good for hitting the Klefki if it has Magnet Rise, so I'm not completely walled by that. Running Adamant Max Attack just to give it as much power as possible with enough speed running on it to outspeed a Adamant Max Speed Decidueye, and the rest is just put into HP to give us some slight bulk. Nothing really much to say about that. This just annihilates his team. If I can just weaken the Wheezing, weaken Piloswine, and get some chip damage on the Klefki, and also weaken the Blastoise if he decides to bring that too, this absolutely just goes and destroys him. Like, his switch-ins are extremely limited in terms of my Pokemon's coverage. So that is the Diggersby. And then lastly, we have our Crobat here running Adamant Choice Scarf with Brave Bird, Leech Life, U-Turn, and Defog. Adamant Choice Scarf with enough speed to ensure that I am faster than a Jolly Max Speed Terrakion. I also outspeed a timid Max Speed Mega Alakazam. Although I'm not really expecting Max Speed, it'll definitely be running enough speed for Max Speed Crobat at the very least. So I at least want to try to get some chip damage on the Mega Alakazam and then go for the Leech Life. If everything goes well, I can take out the Mega Alakazam. This is my offensive check to Mega Alakazam. I can't switch into it all that well, but like I said, I have to pick and choose my spots and when I try to come in on the Mega Alakazam and whatnot. So running them, like I already went through the EV spread here, it's just very straightforward. Just max attack, Adamant Nature, give the added boost in power to Brave Bird, Leech Life, U-Turn, all this stuff, and Defog on the off chance he does decide to hazard stack my team. On the off chance I do decide to bring Volcarona. Although Volcarona, I considered it quite a bit, but at the same time, if he brings like a Scarf Terrakion set and he goes for Stone Edge, I can't do much about it unless I bring Charty Berry. I really wanted to bring something else to try to counteract me bringing something like that. At the same time, Scarf Kyurem can also outspeed Volcarona without a speed boost. So I don't want to take any advantage of that, and I don't have to bank on Flame Body burning Kyurem-Black, and I don't want to rely on hacks to have stuff go in my favor. So that is a team builder for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. This will be going up on Friday as usual, and the battle will be going up on Saturday as always. So again, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, and like I said, the battle will be up on Saturday. Hope you guys are looking forward to it, and that's going to be it from me, guys. Until the next time, my name is Anthony, aka Tone, and I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. Later.